What's up guys, it's Nikki Lynn with A Farmhouse Full, and in today's video I'm going to share with you our updated 2019 to 2020 homeschool curriculum. So we are in our third quarter. We actually just finished, or will be finishing our third quarter. Our last day of the third quarter is tomorrow, on Friday. And so I'm gonna be finishing up our third quarter. And I posted a video at the beginning of this year, and I will link it up here and down below, that talks about the curriculum that we had chosen for this year for our 9th, 7th, 6th, 4th, 2nd, no, 1st, and kindergartner. And so I have all those picks for you. And now I'm gonna just kind of let you know what we actually are really loving and what we have thrown out, what we have not been so great at using, what we like and dislike about the curriculum that we're using right now. So without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right into it. If you're not familiar with our curriculum already, like I said, watch that video that I linked before up there so that you guys can get an idea of where we started. So homeschool planner, you guys, I have a homeschool planner. If you would like to purchase it, it's the same one that I use, and it's the one that I have been using forever. I've always made my own homeschool planners. I've never found one that works well for me. So having multiple kids, I don't need a space for every subject for every kid, because some of my kids share subjects like history and science. So I created my own that included group studies and also some other areas for individual studies. And that's an Excel file that's actually editable. And if you want to purchase that, I have a whole tutorial and the homeschool planner that goes with it. And it goes from 1 to 6 children, although I've used it for more than 6 children. You just split boxes, and I show you how to do that in the tutorial, but still using and loving my homeschool planner. And I'm actually about to plan my 4th quarter, because I haven't done that yet because I'm a procrastinator. So I will probably do a video about like a plan with me video to kind of show you how I walk through planning a quarter, but that is still what I am using for my planner. I also am using my own handwriting curriculum, which I also put together for you guys. I will link that down there. It's just a way of teaching handwriting where you don't use curriculum, and you can just use paper and teach to your children all at once. It comes with a word book that I actually have in here that looks like this, that gives you ideas for commonly confused words and homophones and all that stuff. So it gives you a jumping off point, because the whole thing is the way that I teach handwriting also incorporates some language art skills, some creative writing, and all that jazz. So handwriting planner, that's still the same. History, I am still doing the good and the beautiful for history, and I am still absolutely in love with it. The more I get into this history, the more I love it. I will say that we are not using the Keys of History game as much as I thought we would, because my kids actually really love that game. I allow them, the winners team, the winning team, we break it up into teams, and I allow the winning team to get a brownie in the mug for their accomplishment. So they all love getting brownie in the mugs. We also do the blue ribbon points. I will link that video up there, and they all try to get that brownie in a mug. That's like the coveted prize around here. So we're still doing the good and the beautiful history. The one thing that's really cool about their history program is that incorporates all ages. So my high schooler all the way down to my kindergarten sit in with history. We learn about the same era, and they each have assignments that are based on their own ability. So we are still using and loving that. I plan to continue to stick with history and use year 2. The other thing I really like about the good and the beautiful history is that instead of working on just ancients or just medieval or just modern history, it goes from ancients to modern history all in one year, but just hits on different things each year. So every year goes from the beginning of time to the current time. It just hits on different parts, and then each year builds upon that. I love that, because a lot of the times we'll get stuck somewhere, and then I'll figure, oh, this kid didn't get a whole lot of medieval history, or this kid didn't get a lot of ancient history. I like that this incorporates all of the time periods in one year, and then just goes through different events. And it's a 4-year cycle. So they still do a 4-year cycle. It's just different events that, for instance, different events in ancients that you do from year 1 than you will do in year 2 or 3 or 4. So really love that, still plan on using it. The one thing that I did change is that, oh, I don't have it here. Oh, yes, I do. I was using the Good and the Beautiful Science. I switched over to them. thinking that it would be very similar to God's design, and it was, in the way that it was kind of unit-based and kind of pulled all your kids together. It just was too much. With the history and science, it just was too much because I'm mainly using this for K through 6. And at that age, I feel like I'm just introducing topics. We're not really diving super deep into them. And it just was a lot of, it was a lot of work on my end that I just didn't dig. We already do Mel Science for science experiments. And I have a code for you guys down there if you want it. I did partner with them at one point. Still love that. I will be sharing some of those experiments in some upcoming videos. Is that funny? What are you laughing at over there? Cypress is here with me. So I have an experiment. I have a chemistry experiment that we do usually once every other week or once a month. So we have that. And I just wanted to stick with our good tried and true. So we switched back to God's Design. This is an Answers in Genesis publication. And currently we are working through our universe. Astronomy is always one that my kids always come back to. They love it. They love studying this. We put together some mini books of the planets. We're still having the debate whether Pluto is actually a planet, because I really think Pluto should be a planet. Because my very excellent mother just served us 9 pizzas doesn't make sense without Pluto. So we've turned it into my very excellent mother just served us noodles, which my kids have shortened to nudes, and it's inappropriate. So Pluto's a planet. That's all I'm saying. So that's what we're doing for K through 6. So for my kindergartner up to my 6th grader, we are using God's Design for science, or God's Design for heaven and earth, and we're doing our universe, and we will just work through those books. I have all of them because we've used them from the very beginning, and I love them. That was actually a suggestion on my good friend Jessie. She was doing them with her boys, and I just picked them up and adored them. So for science for my older kids, so once you are in about 7th or 8th grade, depending, or 6th, I guess it's all depending on where I am and who I want to pair you up with and what ability that you have. But usually averaging around 7th grade, I will break them off into their own study. And so this year Michael broke off. I don't have his textbook because it's in his room and I didn't feel like going to the basement. Hashtag lazy. But he is doing physical science. Now, I actually made this is a 1-year course. I'm making it into a 2-year course for him because the way that our schedule worked this year and all the things that I wanted to do, I only had 3 days to devote to science, and I didn't want to overwhelm him since it was his first year breaking off. So I just broke it down to 3 days of science, and then we're just going to keep it over the course of 2 years. So normally this is a 5-day-a-week science program. We're just gonna not do that. So homeschool, you have the ability to do whatever you want. So we will have physical science A and physical science B, and he's doing physical science A this year, and he is doing really well in that. Like almost the point where I probably should have switched him out last year, but it is what it is. So he's doing that. He will be doing that again next year. Maddie, she actually already did biology. My normal go-to that I like to be able to do is high school biology. So health and nutrition in freshman year, and then biology in sophomore year. But Maddie did a advanced course in 8th grade so that she could pair up with her brother who was doing biology in his sophomore year. So she's actually already done apology of biology. So she went full-fledged into science when she went into it and did Bio 1 with her older brother when he was a sophomore and passed it with flying colors. So she's doing great. So this year, this is probably a little bit easier for her because it's only 3 days a week, but she is using Apology to Health and Nutrition. We are loving this. We're still using it. Plan to use it again. Like I said, my goal is to have this as my go-to for my freshmen. Biology is my go-to for my sophomores, and then my juniors and seniors can pick and choose what they want. Maddie is planning to continue to be homeschooled, so next year she actually won't have a science because she's already taken biology, but she'll be in driver's ed and doing a couple other things, so we just may leave science off next year. For our language arts, you guys, this was our first year doing the Good and the Beautiful. Sorry, I don't have the actual books. I have the little student or the teacher guide that I printed off. We started using the Good and the Beautiful for high school, and I've not used their high school courses before because we were using something different when my son was doing high school. I absolutely love their way of doing high school language arts. It's amazing. Don't think I'll ever stray from this. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. If you have a high schooler, language arts, Good and the Beautiful, amazing. Now, if they do not have a strong foundation in language arts, if they have not done traditional language arts, or if you think that they're lacking in language arts, maybe start with their level 7 course first and then transition them into the high school courses. But the high school is self-paced, self-guided, and I check in with her. I check in with her daily, but I check her work only when she finishes a unit, and there's 10 units. So I check in with her about every 2 to 3, I think about every 3 weeks, we do a unit check. I'm loving the way this is, and it's easy to grade, it's easy to record. What I did for both the language arts here is that I just made a book, because I will obviously be using this again for my other children. And it has the answer keys in here, the tests in here if I need to print one off, and then the answer keys to the test. So I keep this handy. For language arts for the rest of the kids, we're using the Good and the Beautiful. So the Good and the Beautiful has their answer keys in the back of each book, and I hate them there because I want to be able to see them without looking through their book. So I just rip them out and then put them in a spiral bound little booklet myself and laminate the cover. I use Pro-Click binding system. I have talked about this before. I love it. I will put the links for those down below, but it's basically a binding system that will bind for you at home. But the spines are really cool, is that you can open the spines back up. So if you've messed up, I don't know if you can see that, is it gonna focus? If you've messed up, you can open those back up and they click together. So you can just zipper them together and they stay together really, really well unless the spines get really old. There's a couple books that I've had to put a new spine in, but it's really easy to do. So Good and the Beautiful, we are still using that. For high school high school foreign language, we are using Spanish, Rosetta Stone. We've been really bad about fitting it in because it's kind of one of those ones that it has to be quiet for, so my kids have to go somewhere else, and we've just been bad about it. But I love Rosetta Stone. I like their subscription-based program because you can do it anywhere on any computer, even on your tablets, devices, and that kind of thing. It just makes it easy. You just plug your headphones into it with a microphone and you're good to go. We just need to get better at doing them consistently. So we are using them, we are loving them, we just need to get better at doing them consistently. Now for math, we are using teaching textbooks and Math UC, same thing that we've always used. We use Math UC for our K, first, and second graders, and then starting in 3rd grade, we go to teaching textbooks. So my daughter is doing algebra, my son is doing 7th grade, and then they all just match up with their grade. So still doing the same thing for math, still loving the same thing for math. I don't think I'll change with that. We are still doing our once a week co-op. We are actually hitting the Y up, which is what I started at the beginning of this year, and we've been really consistent with that. And actually starting this quarter, we're actually training for a 5K as a family, and our homeschool group's actually doing a running group that my kids are involved in. So actually tomorrow is our first running group together as a group. They will be actually going off with their friends and doing training for the 5K. And I get to hang out and do my workout at the YMCA, which will be kind of nice because they have childcare for my younger kids. But we've been going to the YMCA before this quarter twice a week. Usually we are doing running on one day and shooting hoops on the other. And for my little kids, I just use the child watch because otherwise it's just not doable. So the YMCA offers a really good, it offers a really great place for our family. If you guys are a large family, look into it. The YMCA where I am, and I think this is the same anywhere because I can use any facility anywhere, there's one price for your whole family, no matter how big it is. So I pay the same price as a family of 5. I almost feel like I'm cheating them a little bit, but check out your local YMCA. Especially if you're homeschoolers, because you can go up there during the day and run with your kids. If your kids are old enough, they can use the equipments or do classes. And then your younger kids who are not quite ready for that, they can go to the kid care area. And I've had a really good experience with the kid care area. Just we have some really great staff that works where ours are, and the kids love to go. So it's something fun they get to do. Occasionally they have like little friends that they get to see on the same days every day or every week. And it's just been a really great experience for our family. Plus they've got an indoor pool that we use in the winter. We a lot of times in the winter we'll go up there on a Saturday just because we're bored here at the house and we get to stay active. So it's been really nice. My husband and I have been using it in the evenings once the kids go to bed for working out, because as much as I advocate, like if the only place you have to work out, do it at home. I did it for the longest time. It's so much nicer to be able to go somewhere that's already clean, that you don't have anybody bothering you, that there's no distractions that you can just get away from and go to. And so we've been using that a lot. So that is our homeschool curriculum. Pretty much it stayed the same other than the science that we changed. We just are not doing the Good and the Beautiful. It was a great science program. If you guys look into it, I think they have some free downloadables. I love the Good and the Beautiful, I really do. I love everything they put out. It just was too much for us in this season. And I've got a good clip going with God's design, so I just stuck with it. So that's our curriculum. If you guys have any questions, hopefully my comments are turned on. I haven't posted a video yet as of the time that I'm recording this, so I don't know. But if you can, post the questions in the comments below. Let me know what you guys are loving, how much have you guys changed your homeschool curriculum. And if you can't post comments, go over to my Instagram. You should be following me there anyway, because I'm way better at posting over there than I am posting here. But hope you guys are well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye, guys.